Well, hello and welcome here to round number 18 of the Craftsman Cup Series qualifying yet again. This time we are at Kansas Speedway. We had quite an exciting race last time we raced here with the win between Brandon Ross and Dylan Poteet. Hopefully Brandon, with his good finish last week at Nazareth, will continue that form. But we've got some qualifying to go to, and I think we saw Liam Irving just go out first, which indeed he has. There he is, the rookie, doing really well in the rookie standings and in the championship, in the top 10 for the 20 team. Complete and utter turnaround is actually as well for this team, because if you think about it, they had Richard Johnson driving the 20, Noah Hart driving the 18. I think Richard Johnson finished dead last in the points driving the 20 car, and Noah Hart finished too highly up there in all. So it's a complete different turnabout here for the Joe Gibbs team, and now they've got a third driver with Nick Gunther, and he's already got a win to his name. The other two hasn't. As Liam there, nearly that's going to be the danger corner. I'll tell you that now. That is going to be the danger corner. That is, and out goes Brandon Ross, who finished second a week ago, last season that we raced here. And there's Gunther. A load of drivers coming out on track. Now, for those that are new, that don't know about qualifying, what it is you've got 10 minutes worth of qualifying. Whoever's got the fastest time gets on the pole. Pretty much self-explanatory. If your car gets disappeared, gets involved in an accident during this session, and if your car's disappeared in the pit lane, then no matter what, you're going to be starting at the back of the field. And there you can see, that's what I mean, that dangerous corner, turn 4. You just saw Dylan Poteet just scraping the wall, coming out of 4. And out goes Collard. And there is Poteet. Poteet just getting by Dylan Young, who's hopefully recovered from this flip at Nazareth a week ago. And you can see these drivers are not using the restrictor plate engines around this track, because last season it was a pretty fun race. As Carson Gum, probably you could say the man on form right now, comes out on the track. He's actually nearly flirting back into the top 10 in the championship. There's Joshua Collard just passing Wes McCall, who's been the championship leader for many, many weeks. He comes into this 5th now in the standings. Ooh, I think Collard may have just actually scraped the wall, but gets a great one, Noah Michael Norman. And then Michael's coming into this with not a lot of confidence. And no, Michael's falling out of the top 10 in the standings. He comes into this 11th in the race. There's his teammate Noah Cars and James Qualls. There's Levi McIntyre, followed by Carson Green, who had a nice showing last week at Nazareth, finishing in the top 10. There's Ali Rain in the 77, Kyle Matthews in the 45 there too. Matt McLean just about to pass the car he raced for last season. And there we go there. And there is Nathan Hudson just passing Gunther on the inside, with Matt McIntyre and Jesse Turner. And you got this squabble of cars here too. And there's Christian Martin, who was the points leader a week ago before pitting in late on. Eventually now was not leading the championship now. That now is Colin Jones and Trent Dunham in the 1 side by side. There's Chris Summers, who finished 2nd at Nazareth. Daniel Voiles, who finished in the top 10. And the 89 of Charlie Buxton. And there's Cody Lammers. And there you can see another gaggle of cars right here. Ospina with Wintergreen, LaPlante, Brian Tedesco, who's also flirting in the nearly in the top 10 in Sky Commons, who had a nice out there 1 week ago at Nazareth. There is the Nashville winner, Jessica Shelton, alongside Jamie Smith, Jack Mitchell, and the 32 of Charles Sanford. And by the looks of it, I think Jessica's actually pitting, as well as Alex Rowe there, it would seem. Nathan Hudson's already in. So too is Dylan Young. There is Fitzwater. And there is the championship leader. There he is, RJ Bishop, trying to get the drive from his teammate, the All-Star champ. Oh, you just saw him just had to dab a little bit on the brakes there. But yeah, the winner, like I said, oh, Liam just pulls out. And I might bring Fitzwater with him is an O. So we see another scrap of cars right there. And I think we've gone full circle, really. That's all 42 drivers already that we've noticed out on track as Matt McIntyre's in the pit lane. And there was Nick Gunther. There he is. He's in the top 10, I believe. Yes, he comes into this 9th in the standings. RJ Bishop leads. He's got a 94-point advantage over Christian Martin. Then Noah Carr's still in 3rd, 101 points back. James Quoll's up to 4th. Wes McCall went down 1, as well as Dylan Poteet. No movement, no for Jack Mitchell. He's 7th. We haven't seen Danny Wells yet, actually. We've not seen Danny. There he is there with Christian Martin. Oh, and Daniel Voel's into the pit lane. There he is. In he goes. Nick Gunther 9th and Liam Ervig out 3 places, and he was in the top 10. Austin Plant in the pit lane. Matthews in the pit lane. There's the man 3rd in the championship, and still trying to get trying to help his teammate Michael Norman here to get a good, at least a good higher spot in qualifying. Passing Matt McIntyre in the process, and now and there's some smoke. So we've got some smoke now. So we will actually get to see who actually caused the smoke, and if it was an actual issue. If his car disappeared, oh, that's going to be interesting to know who did that. Oh, was that McCrory? Oh, there's more. There's more. I heard someone scraping the wall. Oh, and it's a big one. It's Nick Gunther, Danny Wells, and Noah Carr's also involved. Yeah, the cars are all avoiding the accident because they don't want to start at the back of the group. We did have a load of drivers starting at the back at Nazareth a week ago. We had about at least, what was it, about 7 of them. Nick Gunther and Danny Wells was 2 of them, and they're going to be starting at the back of the grid yet again. So, yes, qualifying has already been quite an exciting one as we're looking at Kyle Matthews. He's running Trout fastest. We've got 2.5 minutes to go. Sky Commons in. Oh, James Qualls just squeezes up against the wall. Like I said, that is the danger turn off of 4. You're going to see drivers then hanging off the wall there. But this is going to be a race of intensity with especially these cars there. Pretty much going Harry Flatters around this track here because they are running in excess of 217 miles an hour. We've got less than 2 minutes to go as we're looking at Nathan Hudson, who I believe was 7th fastest, I believe. No, 9th fastest, my apologies. Well, out goes Danny Wells, but it makes no... Oh, no, sorry, that's Andy McCrory. Same red car, but just different manufacturer. So we've got 2 accidents to actually see. An accident that happened on the front stretch and an accident that happened in the middle of 3 and 4, which included at least 3 drivers that's in the top 10 in the championship. The 44 of Noah Carr's, he's 3rd, and then Danny Wells and Nick Gunther. There may be some other drivers also involved in it too, but we will have a look at a replay of those accidents. And there is Jamie Smith driving for Morgan McClure. He's on a real bad form as of late. He's actually nearly fallen out of the top 20 when he spent most of the first half of the season in the top 10. And the second half of the season has not gone well for the 4 team. Retired early on at Nazareth. And it's still not looking good at the moment here. 39th fastest then for Jamie Smith. But he will improve some spots because, like I says, we've got drivers going to be standing at the back of the grid now. At least 3 of them. There's a championship leader. They're going a bit high. Oi, that was so close there. Blimey, Charlie, where's McCall giving it absolutely everything? No, and there's going to be another wreck here. There's going to be another wreck. Aye. Now, the 99 is actually scraped up against the wall, and there's 10 seconds to go. Qualifying might be over. He might be okay. Oh, he's going to hold up a whole gang of cars there. What on earth was Alex Rowe doing? What on earth was Alex Rowe doing? Well, we're going to have a boatload of cars now starting at the back of the grid, and even more carnage has happened. But what on earth was Alex Rowe doing right on the bottom of the track? Oh my God, and there's even more when Danny Wells is involved. This has been an absolute wreckfest of a qualifying. And it's Noah cars again. And there's more spinning on the front stretch. I'm trying to see it. It's Wes McCall and Nick Gunther yet again. 3 drivers who are involved in an accident. They're involved again. Oh, and then Ospina's also collected. This is the most craziest qualifying I think you ever seen. My good Lord. And RJ Bishop has also got damaged, but I think, you know, the time was up. Wow. Well, we're going to have to solve all that, really, haven't we? There's a lot of replays to go through. Well, this is already big for the championship. The first one that happened on the front stretch involves the championship leader, RJ Bishop. See, now you see Wes McCall, he's into the pit lane, but they're all these drivers are reacting to it. Seth hits the wall. RJ doesn't back off the throttle and gets into the back of his teammate, who then in turn gets turned by Carson Gum. RJ hits the outside wall pretty hard, I have to say. And I think his car will disappear going into the pit lane. I'm not too sure, though, about Seth. Not too sure about if Seth, because I know he may have scraped the wall, so his car might be quite damaged, you know. We'll continue on playing this, actually. I don't know about the 99 as well. We'll have a look at the 99 of Carson Gump, because he only just got into Seth Cole. He surely would have damaged the valence of the car. Let's find out. So he's into the pit. Oh, he's actually got some damage too on the right side, so he probably might come into the pits and all. Fitzwater just comes in saying, I want friends to hang about with. But let's see. This, yeah, Carson Gum disappears. Yeah, so Carson Gum is gone. And now Seth Cole, I'm guessing his car will disappear, yeah, as well as the championship leader. Now, what about with Fitzwater? Fitzwater's the same as well. I don't think there was any damage with him. He's just doing it in sympathy, really. So that's the first one that happened on the front stretch, and 4 cars then already at the back of the grid. Let's see what happened to the others in turn 3 with Nick Gunther, Noah Cars and Danny Wells. Now, this was the second incident, and it involves here Nick Gunther and Danny Wells. I don't know where on earth Danny Wells is. Oh, there he is. He may have got turned. Oh, and that's a huge impact. Luckily, the car stays on all 4s. Now, we're going to see where in there. I think Danny Wells may have got turned to come back on the track like that. Now, we're going to see when Noah Cars. There he is. Oh, and just gets into Danny Wells there. The other 2 drivers, as well as Carson Green, avoided it, but not so with Noah Cars. Now, I'm just seeing if there's any other drivers that gets involved in this. I don't think so. So there you go. So that happened with just about 3 minutes to go until the end of qualifying. More drivers then will start at the back of the grid. And it involves the 9, the 11 and the 44. So them 3 drivers, as well as Fitzwater, Bishop, Cole and Gum, will start at the back of the grid. Now we're going to have a look at the big massive one. I believe that finished after the checkered flag. Well, before we have a look at the big wreck, let's see. It must have to do something with Matt McLean, I have to say. Yep, I think Matt's going to tag him in the rear, I'd say. Yep, there's the contact, and around goes Danny. Actually does well just to keep it going, though. Running at 213 miles an hour, and then right into Gunther. That is a tremendous hit. And then there's Noah Cars, just gets into him. And there was the damaged car of Noah Cars. And this was the other one, and it started all the way back here on the front stretch. Carson yet again gets into the wall when, all right, this is what we've seen. So, yeah, Carson gets into the wall, gets turned by the 20 of Liam Ervig, who slides up. And there's a hard hit there with the 99. As you can see, there's 15 seconds to go until the end of qualifying. So this will still count. Now, there you can see Carson. He stays up against the wall, does the right thing, keeps the car, you know, out of danger. Now, all of a sudden, now we're going to be playing this full speed here. And Alex Rowe, who really reacts to missing the 99, decides to go to right to the infield of the track. And then we go into the replay here, gets onto the grass, and then here he comes, kamikazes right into Carson Gum, who then turns into the 42, into Jamie Smith, into the 6, and also the 32 goes down. Oh, and then the 6 just turns the 88 of Levi McIntyre around. He hits the outside wall quite hard. Brandon Ross's car looks like he's very, very slow. But it's just absolutely shit. And there's the 18. He gets into the 6. Charlie Buxton has also got damage. Now the 88 slides down into Carson, then gets turned by Anthony. And there's more one now. There's Dylan Young with Jessica Shelton. Her car is destroyed. And it's just absolute sheer complete and utter madness. There's the 77 and the 32. What's happened with them two? I didn't see what happened there. Oh, and there's Danny Wells. And there's the 38 of Daniel Voiles. How did they get involved in this and all? Let's see then. So, oh, he gets hit hard there. Chris Summers, as well as, yeah, and then there's the 37. Yeah, the 77 gets into the 37. Ali Rangers gets hit by Jessica Shelton. The engine's completely cooked. We have got ourselves a boatload of drive. Oh, Colin Jones up the track. This is by far the most incredible qualifying you ever wish to see. And then there's the 99 upside down. There's the 18, and I think the 24 may have actually got some damage too. We're going to have at least half the field starting at the back of the grid here. Oh, these drivers look relatively okay. Now, I don't know what... Now, I think there's more accidents that happen. Oh, there we go. There's the 9. He's got turned around extremely hard. Oh my good lord. And there's Sefco as well as Noah Cars. Now, they were going to be starting at the back of the grid anyways. And their backup cars are still destroyed. So, yeah, their backup cars, like I said, is destroyed. So, Danny gets into the side of Ali Rain. Daniel Voiles. There goes Sky Commons. Oh, and Michael Norman gets hit. It hits into him as well as Sefco. And Noah Cars, nowhere for him to go. So we've got to write down a load of numbers here that's going to start at it's going to start pretty much mid pack here. And then it doesn't end here because I think in a few seconds time, both front end cut sides of Wes McCall's cars. Is it Wes McCall? Oh, and there we go. Yeah, Wes McCall then just drives into Nick Gunther. And this is what... Oh, and Zachary Fitzwater goes to the grass. We're going to have it from a different camera angle here because this is just an incredible amount of accidents that we've had here. Now, we did see the 97. He also got turned around here too. Let's see. Here comes Ospina. He goes to the inside. Wintergreen decides to stay on the racing. And now what happens here with Diego Ospina? Oh, he just gets into Nick Gunther. And then around goes the 97. Wintergreen did the right thing. The more experienced Ospina didn't. And that's a huge hit there on the outside wall. And this will count, by the way. This will all count. So we're going to have ourselves a load of drivers then. Starting at the back of the grid here. So I've got to write down all these car numbers here, really. Right. After 20 minutes of figuring out which driver is going to start, I already have written out the starting grid, but you people have not seen it though. But for the record, the cars that were involved in the accidents, I have counted 21 in this 10-minute session. 21 cars. The cars were destroyed. Now there's going to be a few getaways and all that. Especially with the 8 and the 38 and the 66. Now, qualifying had actually ended and we went into qualifying, but those 3 cars did not go into the pit lane. You saw the likes of Wes McCall. His car was completely torn up. And his car completely stopped. As well as the 97. The 97 was also another one of as well as the 38, because he was involved in the qualifying, but his car was able to go, and then it went into this one here. Okay, so they have got away with it. Lucky them. Lucky McCreary, Lucky Voiles, Lucky Colin Jones, and Lucky Diego Ospina. They're going to be starting on the grid. They're not going to be starting at the back of the grid, but like I says, I have counted 21 cars involved in accidents. That's going to be starting at it's basically going to be from the middle of the pack to the rear of the rear, right? So I'll give you the cars that were involved in accidents, and I'm going to try and do it in one breath, okay? 29, 40, 41, 99, 9, 11, 44, 42, 6, 37, 4, 32, 88, 89, 2, 48, 77, 17, 5, 0, 18. Those were the drivers. That was actually pretty easy. Those were the drivers or the cars that's going to be starting at the back of the grid. Now, how would you determine at the back of the grid is where they are in the championship. Okay, then. So, like I says, the 40 was involved in an accident. He leads the championship. He's going to be the first one that's starting at the back of the grid, and so on. But like I says, I have already written out the speak, Sean, at the starting grid. I'm just mesmerised by just how carnage the qualifying was. I can't imagine what the race is going to be like tomorrow. I can't imagine that. But anyway, this is going to be so confusing looking at the standings. Here is the driver that's going to be starting on the pole. It's James Qualls by 1,000th of a second. He was not involved in any of the 3 accidents. So he legitimately, takes the pole position. Now, you saw second place there, Levi McIntyre. He was involved in the very late one at the end of qualifying. So his second place is completely eradicated. Now, Wintergreen, he wasn't involved in any of the big accidents, and he is third quickest. But because Levi McIntyre was involved, Wintergreen will start second. Now, Brandon Ross, you see there, he's fourth, but moves up because of McIntyre. So Brandon Ross is going to start third. Noah Cars, he was also involved in 2 accidents, and his car was destroyed in both of them. So he's going to be starting at the back of the grid, which allows Carson Green to move up to 4th place because he moves up because Noah Cars had a problem and Levi McIntyre. Dylan Young, we saw him involved. In fact, I'll just give you the starting lineup actually because I've written it down because it's going to be so confusing for you. So on the front row will be James Qualls and Brent Wintergreen. On the second row will be Brandon Ross and Carson Green. On the third row will be Brandon Tedesco and Joshua Collard. On the 4th row, one of the lucky drivers, Diego Ospina and Christian Martin. And then on row 5 will be Kyle Matthews and Trent Dunham. Matt McLean, who could be in trouble after causing after turning Danny Wells around on the backstretch for him to get into the 11 and the 44, he's going to start 11th on the grid, and he's going to be alongside Sky Commons, the 66, another lucky driver of Colin Jones, because like I says, his car did not go into the pit lane whilst qualifying. Well, it disappeared. And he's going to be alongside Liam Ervig on row 7. So it's an old rookie affair on the 7th row. On row 8 will be Sama Oskin and Jesse Turner. Row 9 will be Dylan Poteet and Matt McIntyre. Row 10 will be the 49 of Austin Plant and Daniel Voiles in the 38. So as you can see, Daniel Voiles is... Where is Daniel? Daniel was 40th quickest. He's going to start 20th. And then on row 11, and it was the last of the lucky drivers too, Anthony McCreary in the 8. Now, these are the drivers that were involved in the accidents that's going to be starting at the back of the grid. So you've got the championship leader that's going to be alongside Anthony McCreary on row 11. Row 12 will be Noah Cars and Wes McCall. Row 13 will be Jack Mitchell and Danny Wells. Row 14 will be Nick Gunther and Michael Norman. Row 15 will be Cody Lamas and Carson Gum. Row 16, Chris Summers and Nathan Hudson. Row 17, Jamie Smith, Seth Cole. Row 18, Charles Sanfer and Jessica Shelton. Row 19, Charlie Buxton and Levi McIntyre. So Levi McIntyre had the second fastest time. He's going to start 38th because of where he is in the championship. Row 20 will be Dylan Young and Zachary Fitzwater. And on the final row will be Ali Rain and Alex Rowe. And again, Alex Rowe's going to be going to be seeing the big red truck as well after what on earth he was doing, because he didn't need to go way down at the bottom of the track. He didn't get turned. He did it himself. So, yeah, what an absolutely frantic qualifying that was. I hope you understood it all. But I think the drivers are going to get a real stern talking to when the race comes later on tomorrow night. They're going to get a real good talking to just to say, calm it down. The championship's not over yet. We've got like another 8 races to go, but I can't imagine it's going to be a wreckfest come tomorrow at Kansas. Anyways, I've been Sean. Thank you for watching this mad qualifying session. Like I says, I don't know what the race is going to hold out, but we'll see you tomorrow.